The alien woman was astonished when a human male got her pregnant on the first try. This was not the first time humans had traveled this far from Earth, but every mission felt new. They had entered the outer edges of the Orion Drift, a region of space mostly controlled by alien trade and diplomacy. Humans were welcome, but always watched carefully. Ethan was a lieutenant and a cultural liaison. His job was simple to explain but hard to do. Make sure humans acted politely, respectfully, and safely in front of alien species who had very different ways of thinking. He rubbed the back of his neck. Sometimes he wondered if humans were too straightforward, too impulsive to survive here. But humanity had a strange kind of charm that even aliens could not deny. "Lieutenant Brooks, we are approaching the neutral trade station," said a soft voice. It was Dr. Lisa Carter, a biologist assigned to the mission. Lisa was in her early 30s, curious, and always carrying a small tablet filled with data about alien biology. She had long studied the Orion Drift species and was excited to see them in real life. Ethan nodded. "Understood. Keep all scientific scans on standard mode. We don't want to trigger any alarms." Lisa smiled faintly. "I know, but I can't help myself. I want to see everything. Even simple things about alien physiology fascinate me." The trade station appeared on their viewport. It was enormous, like a floating city. Bright energy beams ran across its surface, connecting docking bays and market modules. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved around it. Some were sleek, long, and metallic. Others were round or angular with colors that seemed impossible to human eyes. Ethan felt a thrill. Humanity had not seen many species in person, and here dozens moved in harmony. "Lieutenant Brooks," Lisa said, pointing at one of the docking bays. "Look, that's Nyxara's ship. I've studied her species for months. They call themselves the Elari. They are highly respected in the Orion Drift, very long-lived, very careful with outsiders." Ethan adjusted his uniform. "I've heard they are difficult to impress." Lisa laughed. "Impress them, maybe. But that is not why we are here. We are here to study, observe, and maybe make connections. If we survive the first meeting, that is." Ethan shook his head. "I keep forgetting you humans like danger so much." The docking bay opened. A ramp descended slowly. Nyxara stepped out. She was taller than any human, her skin faintly luminous with soft patterns that moved slightly when she breathed. Her eyes were deep violet, calm but alert. She moved with grace, and every human who looked at her felt a strange mixture of awe and nervousness. Ethan stepped forward. "Greetings, Nyxara. I am Lieutenant Ethan Brooks, human liaison. This is Dr. Lisa Carter, our biologist." Nyxara inclined her head slightly. Her voice was soft, melodic, and yet carried authority. "Lieutenant Brooks, Dr. Carter. I welcome you to the station. I have heard much about humans. Your species is unpredictable." Ethan smiled politely. "We try our best to be predictable, most of the time." Lisa added, "We come with respect and with curiosity. We hope to learn from you and to share what we know." Nyxara's eyes seemed to study them carefully. Then she gestured toward a large meeting hall. "We shall speak there. My advisors will join us. I wish to understand why humans have traveled this far, and what you hope to gain." The humans followed Nyxara, walking slowly across the docking bay. Ethan noticed other Elari watching silently from the shadows. Their long faces showed little emotion. Some had crests on their heads that moved slightly, like thin antennas. Ethan kept his hands visible. In his training, he learned that humans often raised their hands to show they were not a threat. Apparently, other species appreciated this as well. In the meeting hall, Nyxara sat in a large chair shaped like a crescent moon. Her advisors, 3 other Elari, arranged themselves in a semicircle. They were older, their patterns on their skin moving more slowly, showing wisdom and age. Ethan took a deep breath. "We are here to learn and to offer knowledge. Humans have traveled far, yes. But we do not wish to interfere. We only wish to understand and to connect." Nyxara listened quietly. Then she asked a question that surprised Ethan. Humans, your reproductive processes are fast. Is this true, that a single pairing can lead to life quickly? Lisa blinked. She had anticipated questions about biology, but this was unexpected. Yes, that is true. Compared to many species, humans have short reproductive cycles. It is part of why our species has survived many challenges. Nyxara leaned forward. Her eyes were wide with curiosity. I have read that this is unusual. Most species must wait many cycles, many years, to produce a new life. You adapt quickly, Lisa nodded. Yes, humans are very adaptable biologically. We can reproduce, recover, and adjust in ways most species cannot. It is a survival advantage, Ethan added, and we do not force it. Reproduction is natural, but it happens faster than many would expect. Nyxara's expression shifted. It was a mixture of skepticism and awe. She had never considered that a species could reproduce so quickly and with such stability. Fascinating, dangerous perhaps if misunderstood, but fascinating. The meeting continued. They shared knowledge of medicine, energy use, and trade. Lisa demonstrated some human scanning equipment. Nyxara's advisors examined it carefully, touching the surfaces and asking questions in precise tones. Ethan watched the exchange, noticing that Nyxara kept looking at him, silently studying how humans moved, how they spoke, and how they carried themselves. By the end of the day, the humans were exhausted but pleased. Nyxara rose to leave. You have done well. Humans are unusual but perhaps not dangerous. Time will tell, Ethan nodded. We hope to learn from each other and we promise to act with respect. Lisa added softly in curiosity. Nyxara's eyes flicked to Lisa briefly, a small smile appearing. Yes. Curiosity can be very useful, but it can also be dangerous if not controlled. Back on the Odyssey, Ethan and Lisa reviewed the day's recordings. I don't know, Ethan said, rubbing his temples. I feel like Nyxara is studying us like we are the experiment. I hope she doesn't see it as a threat, Lisa laughed softly. Maybe she is, but we are not an easy species to study fully. Humans are complex. Ethan shook his head. Too complex sometimes, but that is why we are here. We learn, we adapt, and we survive. That is humanity's way. Days passed as humans and Elari exchanged knowledge. Slowly, Nyxara began to show more trust. She invited Lisa to examine her species' medical technology. She allowed Ethan into private discussions about trade and culture. It felt like a cautious friendship forming, built on mutual respect and curiosity. One evening, as Ethan and Lisa watched Nyxara demonstrate a healing device, Ethan noticed something. Nyxara's eyes seemed softer. Curious, yes, but also personal. Like she was thinking beyond the scientific purpose. Ethan felt a strange feeling he could not describe. Humans were adaptable. He had read about human emotions and alien caution. But seeing it here now made the Orion drift feel smaller and humanity feel larger than ever. Lisa noticed it too. I think she is fascinated by us, not just the science but us personally. Humans have a way of surprising other species. Ethan nodded slowly. That could be good or it could be very dangerous. We have to be careful. One misstep and we could start an interstellar incident. Nyxara spoke then, quietly, as if reading their thoughts. I do not wish to cause offense, but humans, you are unlike anything I expected. You may not realize it yet, but you are remarkable. Ethan and Lisa exchanged a glance. It was the first time an alien had called humans remarkable without fear or suspicion. It felt like a small victory. Little did they know, this simple admiration would lead to events none of them could predict. Nature, biology, and the very laws of life in the galaxy were about to be challenged in a way that would astonish Nyxara and change humanity's place in the stars. And it all began with the first cautious meeting, where curiosity, respect, and awe quietly danced together on a neutral station in the Orion Drift. Weeks passed after the humans first arrived at the Orion Drift Station. Ethan Brooks and Dr. Lisa Carter continued their exchanges with Nyxara and her people. They shared knowledge, discussed trade, and observed each other's customs. Slowly, trust grew between the species, but humans remained cautious. One morning, Nyxara requested a private session with Lisa in the medical wing of the station. Her advisors had given permission, but the hallways were unusually quiet. Even the normally busy alien technicians moved slowly and silently, almost as if they sensed something important was about to happen. Lisa followed Nyxara into a bright examination room filled with equipment that seemed more advanced than anything she had seen before. Panels glowed with soft blue light, and instruments hovered silently in the air, scanning automatically. Nyxara walked calmly, her long fingers brushing over a surface, and her eyes never left Lisa. "I wish to understand this fully," Nyxara said. Her voice was calm, yet there was tension beneath it. "My body, it has changed. I feel different. I do not understand why." Lisa frowned slightly. "Different? In what way?" Nyxara hesitated, a small frown appearing on her face. "I feel life inside me. I sense a presence. My people have never experienced this without careful planning over years. This is fast, too fast, and unexpected." Lisa's eyes widened. "Wait, you mean you might be pregnant?" Nyxara's gaze was steady. "I do not know your word for it, but yes, something grows within me. It started days ago. I felt it first as a change in energy. Then more physical signs appeared. I hoped it was an illusion, but it is real." Lisa's mind raced. This should not happen. At least, according to what we know, cross-species reproduction is almost impossible. But humans, yes, we can adapt biologically in ways other species cannot. "Ethan, I need your opinion." Ethan entered quietly, scanning the room. He had heard part of the conversation. "Nyxara," he said carefully, "we are not here to judge, but this is unexpected. Your biology and human biology interacting like this, it is something we have never seen. It could be natural, it could be unprecedented." Nyxara's eyes widened slightly, a rare flicker of emotion. "Unprecedented, that is the word. I am astonished and afraid. If this is known, my people may fear me, or they may fear humans. What should I do?" Lisa placed a reassuring hand on a console. "We will study this carefully. Nothing will be done without your consent. If it is safe, we will help you understand it. If it is dangerous, we will try to protect you, I promise." Nyxara nodded, taking a deep breath. "I trust you, but you must understand. In my culture, life is sacred and controlled. This event is unheard of. It could bring great honor or great disaster." The medical scans began. Lisa used human scanning technology, which was sensitive to biological energy and cellular growth. The equipment hovered above Nyxara, sending beams of soft light across her body. Ethan watched closely, trying not to panic. Minutes passed. Then Lisa's eyes widened. "Ethan, you need to see this." Ethan leaned over the console. The scans revealed something remarkable. Inside Nyxara, a small life form was developing. Cells were multiplying rapidly, combining both human and Elari DNA. The growth was stable, not chaotic. This is impossible," Lisa whispered. "It's stable. She is pregnant." Nyxara's eyes grew wide. "Pregnant with your species," Lisa nodded slowly. "Yes, it seems human biology is capable of adaptation beyond anything we imagined. The pregnancy appears natural. There is no danger detected so far, but this is beyond normal science." Nyxara sank into a chair, her hands clasped together. I did not expect this. I only studied humans. I never thought life could form this way. My people will, they may not understand. They may call it dangerous or unnatural." Ethan put a hand on Nyxara's shoulder gently. "We will protect you. This is not a threat. It is a new life. It is remarkable but not harmful. We have to prove that scientifically." The alien doctor who had accompanied Nyxara spoke cautiously. We must inform the council, but this may cause panic. Other species will see this as a potential weapon. Humans, your reproductive power is feared. Lisa shook her head. No, it is not a weapon. It is biology. That is all, but yes, some will fear it if they do not understand. Ethan looked at Nyxara. How do you feel? Nyxara closed her eyes. I feel awe and fear and wonder, but also connection. This is life. I cannot deny it. Over the next days, Nyxara stayed in the medical wing under observation. Human and Elari doctors worked together, carefully monitoring her condition. Every scan showed the same results. The pregnancy was progressing normally, and the child's cells were stable. It was neither chaotic nor threatening. However, rumors began to spread on the station. Aliens whispered in corridors. Some viewed humanity as a dangerous species, capable of biological miracles that could disrupt the galaxy. Others were fascinated. They wanted to study humans, to learn if this power could be replicated. Ethan and Lisa realized the stakes were higher than ever. If word reached the Orion Drift Council too quickly, humans could be expelled, or worse. One evening, Ethan and Lisa walked through the observation deck. They watched Nyxara resting quietly in her room. Her patterns glowed faintly as her body adapted to the pregnancy. Ethan, Lisa said softly, we are seeing something no one expected. This could change the way the galaxy sees humans forever. Ethan nodded. I know, but we must be careful. Nyxara trusts us. We cannot let fear take control. We have to guide this carefully. The next day, the council convened. Nyxara spoke before them, her voice calm but firm. I am pregnant by human biology. This is not violence. This is not force. It is life. I ask that you do not judge humanity before you understand. The council murmured. Aliens of many species whispered among themselves. Some were angry, seeing humans as a threat. Others were curious. Few could deny the awe of the situation. One of the elder Elari council members, a female named Varsha, spoke. Nyxara, this is unprecedented. We have rules about reproductive interaction. None have been broken intentionally. But humans, they are unpredictable. We must consider the risks, Nyxara replied calmly. Life is always a risk, but this is stable. I feel no danger. The child grows normally. We must observe, not act out of fear. Ethan stepped forward. If I may, we are willing to work with your council. We will share all scientific data. Nothing will be hidden. Humans are not here to dominate, only to learn and coexist. Varsha's eyes narrowed. We will see. Humans are unusual, but perhaps this is not entirely a threat. Time and observation will tell. Despite Nyxara's calm words, fear began to spread through the station. Other species whispered of humans as potentially unstoppable. Some ships started leaving the station early, returning to their home systems to warn of human unpredictability. Back in her quarters, Nyxara looked out at the stars. Life is strange, she whispered to herself, and humans are strangers still. Lisa entered quietly. Nyxara, are you okay? Nyxara smiled faintly. I am amazed. This is my first time feeling life form inside me so quickly. Your species, you are remarkable, but I fear what others will say. Fear spreads faster than life itself. Lisa placed a hand on Nyxara's. We will be here. We will protect you. And we will make sure the galaxy understands the truth before fear spreads. Ethan watched from the doorway. He had seen humans face danger before, but never like this. Here, life itself had become a point of tension, awe, and potential conflict. Yet he felt a deep certainty. Humanity could face this just as they had faced countless challenges before. They were adaptable, they were resilient, and they were remarkable. The following weeks were filled with careful monitoring, research, and quiet amazement. Nyxara's pregnancy continued without complications. Lisa documented everything, noting how human biology had adapted seamlessly to alien physiology. The station became a center of scientific observation. Humans and aliens worked together, learning from one another, and yet the whispers of fear never fully disappeared. Nyxara herself began to change. Her patterns glowed more brightly, her energy shifted, and she began to smile more often. She had always been cautious, but life inside her made her hopeful. She began to see humans not only as unpredictable, but as partners in a future that no one had imagined. And Ethan Brooks knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was about to learn that humans were not just survivors, not just explorers. They were capable of miracles that no one could have predicted. News of Nyxara's pregnancy spread faster than anyone had expected. Even though the humans and Elari tried to keep the details private, whispers in the Orion Drift Station turned into rumors, and rumors turned into reports that reached nearby systems. Ethan Brooks and Dr. Lisa Carter watched the communication feeds nervously. "It's out," Ethan said quietly, rubbing his forehead. "Even with our precautions, it's out. The galaxy knows now." Lisa frowned. "And they will not all be happy. Some species will see this as a threat. Humans are reproductive biology. They do not understand it yet." Indeed, the reactions were immediate. Military ships from several nearby systems began moving toward human-controlled space. They were not attacking, but their formations were careful and tense. Some sent messages warning of humanity's biological power and demanded explanations. Ethan turned to Lisa. "I did not think life itself could cause a fleet mobilization." Lisa shook her head. "Most people do not understand biology like humans do. They see results, and fear takes over before understanding has a chance to grow." Meanwhile, Nyxara remained calm. She continued her observations, talking to Lisa about her body and the child growing inside her. She could feel the new life moving, its energy almost like a faint heartbeat she could sense through her own. She had never felt anything like this. Even though she was aware of the fear spreading across the galaxy, she felt a strange pride. "You will be the center of attention soon," Lisa said gently. "Even if it is scary, your courage now will shape how the galaxy reacts later." Nyxara nodded. "I did not ask for this, and yet I do not regret it. Life is precious. I will not hide it out of fear." Back on the Orion Drift Station, alien leaders gathered in emergency sessions. Many were skeptical, others panicked. "Humans cannot be trusted," one elder said. "They create life in ways that defy our laws. How can we allow them near our systems?" Another voice responded more cautiously. "We do not know yet. It may be a natural event. Perhaps humans are not dangerous, but we must prepare. Caution is necessary." Ethan and Lisa were invited to attend a meeting with the station council. Humans were careful not to seem aggressive, but they had to represent their species honestly. Ethan stood tall, ready to speak for humanity. The council chamber was vast and intimidating. Species from all over the Orion Drift had gathered. Some floated in zero gravity. Others hovered on mechanical legs. Each looked at the humans with curiosity, suspicion, or outright fear. Ethan began. "Members of the council, I speak for humanity. We did not interfere. We did not act violently. What happened with Nyxara is a result of natural biology, not force or domination. Humans are explorers and learners. We do not seek to harm anyone." One council member, a tall alien with long silver fins, spoke sharply. "Lieutenant Brooks, you claim it is natural. Yet your species is remarkable, too remarkable. Others may see this as a weapon. How can we trust humans?" Lisa stepped forward. "We understand your fear, but the child inside Nyxara is stable. We have studied it carefully. It is not dangerous. It is life, and life should not be judged as a threat simply because it is new." The chamber fell silent. Aliens whispered among themselves, some nodding in agreement, others shaking their heads. Nyxara herself stood. Her patterns glowed softly, the light reflecting her calm determination. "I am the one carrying this child. I have felt it grow. I have felt nothing but stability and life. Do not let fear blind you. Humans are not enemies. They are companions in the journey of life. A murmur of awe spread through the room. Some had never heard an alien speak so openly about human life in such a positive way. Others remained skeptical. Outside the chamber, news of the Council's emergency meeting reached nearby systems. Many ships continued to move closer to human space, but some slowed, unsure of what to do. It was clear that the galaxy was divided. Some feared humans, some admired them, and others waited for more information. Admiral Claire Hudson, in charge of human defenses, watched the movements closely. She knew that while humans did not seek war, they had to be prepared. Her fleet was on high alert, ready to protect humanity if needed, but diplomacy was still the priority. In the medical wing, Nyxara continued to work with Lisa. Each day, they observed the growth of the child, taking scans and documenting every change. Ethan often stayed nearby, providing support and acting as a liaison with the station council. "You are handling this well," Ethan said one evening. "Many humans would panic if they were in your place." Nyxara smiled faintly. "I have never known such a feeling before. Life growing inside me. It is strange, yes, but it is not frightening." "Perhaps only the galaxy fears it more than I do." Lisa nodded. "You are right. Humans and aliens will have to learn to see life itself as a bridge, not a weapon." As the days passed, small incidents began to happen across the station. Some species tried to challenge human presence, but Nyxara spoke to them directly. Her calm, assertive tone reminded everyone that this was not a conflict, but a new understanding. Slowly, tension began to ease. However, Ethan knew that the galaxy's reaction could not be controlled entirely. News would spread faster than diplomacy could keep up. Some fleets might interpret humanity as a threat and act aggressively. Others might see the opportunity for cooperation. The outcome was uncertain. One night, Ethan and Lisa walked along the observation deck. Below them, the station glowed like a jewel in space. Ships from many species floated around it, some in formation, some moving in and out. "Ethan," Lisa said quietly, "do you think the galaxy is ready for this? For humanity to be so remarkable?" Ethan looked out at the stars. "I don't know, but humans have always faced challenges that seemed impossible. We adapt, we survive. And we are capable of things others cannot imagine. This is just another test." Lisa smiled. "And Nyxara, she is helping humanity prove that life itself can change the galaxy." Ethan nodded. "Yes, and we have to protect her and the child. They are not just new life. They are symbols of what humans can achieve. Not through war, not through force, but through existence itself." The next day, news reports reached them that some systems had begun sending envoys to observe the child and humanity's cooperation. Other species were still fearful, and some fleets remained on high alert. The galaxy was divided, but one thing was clear. Humans had captured the attention of every species, not through aggression, but through life. Nyxara continued to speak publicly, addressing aliens who visited the station. "I carry life that is part human and part Ilari. This child is not a weapon. It is proof that understanding and cooperation are possible. Fear should not guide our decisions. Curiosity and respect should." Her words resonated with many, slowly shifting opinion. Fear was strong, but reason and awe began to take root. Aliens who had once whispered of humans as dangerous now whispered of humans as remarkable. Ethan, Lisa, and Nyxara worked together tirelessly. They demonstrated the stability of the child's growth, explained human biology, and shared their findings openly. Slowly, the galaxy began to see that humans were not a threat, but something new, something transformative. Even as fleets gathered, some paused. Some envoys asked questions rather than issued commands. Humanity's reputation was growing, not as conquerors, not as invaders, but as a species capable of miracles through life itself. And as Nyxara rested, feeling the child move, She knew that humanity had done something no one expected. They had inspired awe without fighting, wonder without conquest. The galaxy was reacting, yes, but the reaction was mixed with respect as well as fear. Ethan and Lisa watched her quietly, understanding that the story of humanity had entered a new chapter. This was not the end of fear or conflict, but it was the beginning of something far larger, a future where humans could change the galaxy simply by being themselves. The pregnancy had become more than a private miracle. It had become a symbol, a challenge to the galaxy to see beyond fear, to respect life, and to recognize that humans were a species unlike any other. And so, the galaxy reacted. Ships moved cautiously. Aliens whispered. Leaders debated. Some feared, some admired, and some waited to see what humans would do next. But one thing was certain. Humanity's presence was no longer quiet. It was impossible to ignore. The weeks that followed Nyxara's announcement were tense. Fleets of ships from nearby systems had stopped short of entering human space, waiting for evidence of what was happening. Whispers turned into debates. Some aliens demanded immediate action, fearing humanity's uncontrollable biology. Others argued for patience and study. On the Orion Drift Station, Ethan Brooks and Dr. Lisa Carter worked tirelessly. Their goal was clear: prove that the pregnancy was natural, stable, and harmless. If they succeeded, the galaxy might see humans not as a threat, but as a species capable of something unique and positive. In the medical wing, Nyxara rested on a softly glowing platform designed to monitor her condition. Her patterns pulsed gently, a reflection of the life growing inside her. She had grown calmer in recent days, though she still understood the gravity of the situation. "Lisa," Ethan said quietly as he adjusted one of the scanning instruments, "we need to show this to the Council and to visiting scientists soon. They won't believe data alone. They need proof that humans are stable, that our biology doesn't just create chaos." Lisa nodded. "I agree, but we need to be careful. Some species will try to manipulate the results to use fear against us. Our evidence must be clear, detailed, and undeniable." Nyxara opened her eyes. "I understand. I will cooperate fully. I trust your species to present truth, not fear. But we must act soon. Too much delay and panic spreads faster than reason." Ethan looked at her, feeling the weight of responsibility. "We will act. We have to." The following day, they invited a group of scientists from several nearby systems to observe Nyxara's condition. These scientists were curious but cautious. They wanted to see the results firsthand before forming judgments. Lisa began the demonstration. "This is Nyxara," she said. "She carries a child that combines human and Elari biology. All observations show stable development. No anomalies or threats have been detected." Ethan added, "Our technology measures cellular growth, energy patterns, and physiological stability. All readings are normal for both species. The child is healthy and stable." The visiting scientists leaned closer to their devices, scanning, recording, and taking samples of data. Murmurs spread across the observation room. Some aliens' eyes widened in surprise, others narrowed in skepticism. One elder scientist, a reptilian-like creature with golden scales, spoke carefully. "These results, they are unlike anything in galactic history. If accurate, they suggest that humans can adapt biologically to other species in ways previously thought impossible." Lisa nodded. "That is correct. Human reproductive biology is highly adaptable. We have evolved under extreme conditions. It allows life to continue, even in environments or with partners that seem incompatible to other species." Another scientist, a smaller being with translucent skin, asked, "But is this safe for Nyxara?" "For the child," Nyxara smiled faintly. "I feel nothing but life. I feel strength, energy, and balance. There is no danger." The room fell silent for a moment as the visiting scientists processed what they were hearing. Then, slowly, questions began to shift from fear to curiosity. They asked about the child's energy patterns, growth rates, and cellular compatibility. Each answer further demonstrated that the pregnancy was natural and stable. Ethan felt a quiet relief. We are showing them the truth. That is all we can do. Meanwhile, rumors outside the station continued to spread, but some fleets had begun slowing their approach. The stories were no longer only of fear. Tales of Nyxara's calmness, the stability of the child, and human cooperation began to circulate. Slowly, understanding replaced panic in some systems. The station council convened again. This time, Nyxara and the human team presented their findings. Data from the observation session, combined with Nyxara's own statements, made it clear that the pregnancy was natural, stable, and safe. An Elari council member spoke cautiously. We have watched and we have studied. It appears humanity is not a threat in this matter. The child is stable. Life continues without harm. We must reconsider our earlier fears. Nyxara nodded. I have felt it. I have lived it. Humanity does not destroy. Humanity creates. That is what I have experienced firsthand. Ethan addressed the council. Our species is not here to dominate. We are explorers, learners, and creators. This child is not a weapon. It is proof that life itself can bring connection, not conflict. The council deliberated quietly, and for the first time some members expressed admiration. Humans may be remarkable, said one elder. Perhaps they are capable of things other species cannot imagine. Lisa added, this is only the beginning. If the galaxy can understand humans through life itself, perhaps fear can be replaced with cooperation. Outside the council chamber, fleets slowly began to turn back. Some systems sent observers instead of soldiers. Aliens who had come ready to challenge humanity now came to learn, to observe, and to understand. Back in the medical wing, Nyxara felt the child move again. The gentle pulsation reminded her of the delicate balance she now carried. Life is fragile, she whispered. And yet it is strong. Humanity is strong in ways I could not have imagined. Ethan, watching her, felt a sense of pride and responsibility. This is not just about survival, he said. It is about proving who we are. Not through weapons or war, but through our ability to create, to adapt, and to live. Lisa smiled at him. Humans have always faced the impossible. This is just another challenge. One that can change the galaxy if we do it right. In the following weeks, humans and aliens continued to study the pregnancy together. Scientific papers were written, shared, and debated. Every discovery reinforced the same message. Human biology was remarkable, but it was not destructive. It was life itself, adapted and strong. As more species began to understand, the atmosphere on the Orion Drift Station changed. Where once fear had ruled, curiosity and respect now grew. Nyxara became a symbol of cooperation and courage, and humans were slowly recognized not as dangerous outsiders, but as a species capable of bridging gaps between worlds. One evening, as Ethan and Lisa walked along the observation deck, they watched the fleets in the distance. Some had left, some remained, but at a respectful distance. Look at that, Lisa said. They are not leaving in fear, they are waiting, watching, learning. Ethan nodded. That is all we can ask. Humans are remarkable, yes, but proof is stronger than fear. Today, life has won over panic. Tomorrow, we may show the galaxy what else humanity can do. Nyxara rested on her platform, her hand on her stomach. The child moved again, a tiny, subtle sign of life. She smiled softly. I feel hope. Not just for me or for the child, but for all of us. Perhaps humans can change the galaxy, not through force, but through being who they are. Ethan watched her and felt a deep sense of understanding. Humanity's strength was not in weapons or speed or numbers. It was in life itself, in the ability to adapt, to survive, and to create connections where none seemed possible. The galaxy was learning this lesson slowly, carefully, and sometimes reluctantly. But the message was clear. Fear could be replaced with understanding, suspicion could become curiosity, and hostility could give way to cooperation. And at the center of it all, Nyxara and the child she carried represented something no fleet, no law, no weapon could ever challenge: the remarkable, adaptive, unstoppable force of human life. For the first time, humans were not merely visitors in the galaxy. They were teachers. They were bridges. They were living proof that life itself could overcome fear, and the galaxy would never be the same. Months passed, and the pregnancy continued without complications. Nyxara's health remained strong, and the child inside her grew steadily. Humans and aliens worked together, studying every stage carefully. What had started as fear now became fascination. Species that once whispered of humans as dangerous began to see them as something remarkable. Ethan Brooks and Dr. Lisa Carter had spent almost every day with Nyxara. They had grown close to her, not just as scientists or liaisons, but as friends. Ethan often sat by her side, quietly observing, ready to assist in any way. Lisa recorded data, shared findings with visiting scientists, and reassured Nyxara whenever she worried about how the galaxy would react to the child. "Ethan," Nyxara said one evening, her glowing patterns soft and calm, "I feel the child move more strongly now. It is life. I am amazed at what humans can do, not just biologically but in spirit. You face fear and uncertainty, yet you adapt, you survive, and you protect life." Ethan smiled gently. "That is humanity, Nyxara. We do not conquer every challenge. We survive and find ways to live. That is how we have thrived for centuries. And now, we are showing the galaxy that life itself can be a bridge." Lisa nodded. "And we've proven it scientifically. The child is healthy, stable, and a true combination of both species. The galaxy is beginning to see that humans are not a threat, they are partners." Outside the station, fleets that had once hovered menacingly at a distance began to withdraw. Envoys came to observe rather than challenge. Aliens who had doubted humanity's motives now asked questions, eager to learn. Fear was being replaced by respect. Nyxara's advisors, who had once been cautious and skeptical, now expressed admiration. "Your species, human, is remarkable," one elder said. "Through life you show courage, patience, and understanding. We expected threat, but we see something else entirely." Ethan nodded. "That is our way. We adapt, we learn, and we protect life." The day of the child's birth arrived quietly but with anticipation. The medical wing was prepared with both human and Elari technology. Scientists and observers gathered, but they kept a respectful distance. This was a moment of life, not spectacle. Nyxara lay calmly, her patterns pulsing softly as the process began. Ethan remained by her side, holding her hand. Lisa monitored the readings, ready to assist if needed. "Breathe steadily," Ethan said gently. "We are here, you are not alone." Nyxara nodded. "I feel ready. The child is strong. It is time." The birth proceeded smoothly. Nyxara's strength and the careful preparation ensured that everything went well. When the child was finally revealed, a small, glowing being with traits from both humans and Elari, the room fell silent. No one spoke. Awe filled the air. Lisa whispered, "It is perfect." Ethan smiled, his eyes bright. "Not just perfect, remarkable. Humanity has never been defined by weapons or power but by life itself, and this child is proof." Nyxara held the child gently. The patterns on her skin glowed warmly, reflecting the life she now carried outside her body. "It is beautiful, strong, balanced. I did not know life could be shared in this way." The visiting scientists and council members watched quietly, many taking notes, but most simply observing. They understood now that this child represented more than biology. It was a symbol of what cooperation and respect could achieve. Over the following weeks, the child grew quickly, naturally, with both human and Elari traits developing. Its energy patterns were stable, its growth strong. Nyxara, Ethan, and Lisa continued their studies, documenting every stage carefully. The galaxy paid attention. Stories spread from the Orion Drift to neighboring systems. News of the child and the collaboration between humans and aliens reached far and wide. Many species that had once feared humans now celebrated their abilities and wisdom. Humanity was no longer a distant species. They were teachers, connectors, and examples of life's potential. In the council chamber, discussions shifted from fear to cooperation. Humans, one elder said, have proven that life itself can be a force for connection. Not through dominance, not through violence, but through creation and adaptation. We must reconsider how we treat this species. Nyxara stood proudly beside Ethan and Lisa. This child is proof. Life is stronger than fear. Cooperation is stronger than suspicion. And humanity is capable of miracles that no fleet, no weapon, and no law can stop. Ethan felt a deep sense of pride. We did not fight to prove our strength. We lived, and life itself did the rest. That is the essence of humanity. Adapt, survive, create, and protect life. Lisa smiled. And the galaxy finally understands. As years passed, humanity's reputation grew. The child became a symbol of unity, not only between humans and Elari, but between all species willing to understand. Treaties were signed recognizing cooperation as a higher goal than conquest. Scientists from different species began working together, inspired by what life could achieve when fear was set aside. Nyxara continued to speak openly about her experiences. I carried life that is part human, part Elari. I have felt the strength of humanity. I have seen the galaxy change because of trust, curiosity, and respect. We must never let fear dictate our actions. Ethan watched her, proud and thoughtful. Life itself is the strongest weapon we have, and humans, we use it wisely. The child grew quickly, learning from both species. It became a bridge between cultures, a living symbol of the potential for cooperation in the galaxy. Other species began to see that strength was not measured in fleets or weapons, but in life itself, in courage, and in understanding. Humans earned respect not through war or dominance, but through their ability to create and protect life. They had survived challenges, adapted to new worlds, and shown that fear could be overcome by patience, courage, and curiosity. Ethan, Lisa, and Nyxara often looked up at the stars together. They thought of the galaxy beyond, full of wonder, danger, and opportunity. But they also knew that humanity had changed its place in the universe forever. The child took its first steps under Nyxara's watchful gaze, surrounded by humans and aliens alike. Its presence reminded everyone that life itself could unite species, heal divisions, and inspire hope. And so, the galaxy entered a new era. Humanity was recognized not as a conqueror, not as a threat, but as a species capable of miracles, through life, through cooperation, and through courage. The story of Ethan, Lisa, Nyxara, and the child became a legend, a reminder that understanding and respect could overcome fear, and that life itself could change the fate of worlds. In the end, the galaxy learned something it had never expected. Humans were not just survivors. Humans were creators, humans were bridges, and humans, through the simple act of living and protecting life, could inspire hope across the stars. Nyxara held the child gently, her patterns glowing softly. "We have done something remarkable," she whispered. "Not because we fought, but because we lived. And now the galaxy will remember." Ethan smiled, looking at the child. "This is only the beginning. Humanity will continue to adapt, continue to survive, and continue to inspire. One life can change everything. And this child is proof." The stars stretched endlessly around the Orion Drift Station, bright and full of promise. The galaxy had witnessed fear, curiosity, and finally respect. Humanity's place in the stars was secure, not by force, but by life itself. And with that, a new chapter began, one where humans were not just travelers or explorers, but symbols of hope, unity, and the incredible power of living beings to change the universe.